Thank you for joining us once again for Women on a Hustle. This time we have a fantastic interview with one of my favorite people, Terence Jackson. He is the curator of U-Space Gallery. Don't make me say that word again. Curator, U-Space Gallery. He's going to give us a tour of his wonderful, wonderful gallery. And then you're going to see interviews with the artists, a couple of the artists that are featured at his gallery. And last but not least, we have a wonderful film clip by our very own beautiful, talented Tracy Cruz. And this is called Omissions. You know, as in what she takes out of all the things that I put in when she edits. Omissions. So please sit back, relax, and enjoy. Women on a Hustle. Terence Jackson's U-Space Gallery, and a film clip by our very own Tracy Cruz. Thank you. Hi, welcome to Women on a Hustle. I'm Kelly, also known as Cheesecake Kel, and today we're at U-Space Gallery with the owner of U-Space Gallery, Terence Jackson. Hi Terence, how are you?
I'm great. How are you, Kelly?
I'm doing well, thank you. Tell us about your gallery. This is a wonderful, wonderful shop, and the art is wonderful. It's a lot of mixed media, isn't it?
It is. The idea for the gallery actually took place when I was 7 years old, of all things. It was kind of born out of my frustration one day of having to constantly pull together different artists in different mediums doing different things from these books. And my mother actually was entering the room, and so I looked at her one day and I said, these people are going to be in the same book one day. And that really was the beginning of the concept of having a gallery that didn't focus on one particular style or genre, but really focused on the power of people creating something that they just felt compelled to do.
Okay. Now tell me, the prices here are, the art is affordable.
Yes.
And I know that that's a passion of yours. You wanted to give art back to the people. Is that
it is. I mean, as an artist myself, one of the things I just found is it was very important to share the gift that you have, and that as artists we all have a gift. Everyone has a gift, not just in art. But I think what happens a lot of times is in the process of recognizing the talent that each person feels God gave them, they somehow get caught up into the concepts of the world, and before you know it, they're creating things, but the works that they're creating, it's not really accessible to the market that actually is being represented in what they do. And so for me, it's really important to get artists to understand that you don't value a person by the amount of money they make, but the important thing is to actually find people who actually recognize what you do, who celebrate what you do, because those are the people that when the times are lean, when things are hard, they really will keep you afloat because they will have a passion just like you have the passion for what you do. And I think in this day and age, sometimes it's very difficult to just have the faith in what your gift is. And I think that's the other important thing in the pricing is believing not only that it is a gift from God, and that if it is a gift from God, we all have a responsibility to share that gift with whoever, because it's not our role to dictate who God gave us the message for. And that's really what I call the gift I have, and what I call other artists, is I tell them they have a message to deliver. And it's not for us as humans to want to open the envelope and see what's inside, but actually to just deliver the message and let someone receive whatever that blessing is for them. Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're really deep. You really are. And one of the things that I really truly appreciate about you and this gallery is that it's right in the heart of Atlanta. It's all kinds of people, it's accessible. And I noticed that with the homeless people, they love you. They come up to you, you help them, you tell them how it is. And sometimes you help them just by not helping them. You know, you keep it real, and they kind of, in a way, they look out for you.
Yeah, when I was trying to find a location for the gallery, I mean, one of the things that was very important is I think just as a person gets more comfortable with what they do or what they feel their role in is in the world, I think there's a certain alignment that you do so that you don't wind up living a contradiction. And I knew that I could have opened the gallery in Midtown, I could have opened it in Buckhead, in any affluent neighborhood, and it would be successful because I knew the people that I was working with. But what was more important for me is actually bringing the art to a environment, or an environment that I felt like everyone had free access to it. And I also felt like the people in the neighborhood where I chose to bring the gallery were just as worthy as the person living in $1 million home. And one of the things I'm constantly preaching is I always try to see myself in every single person I meet, because those are the things that illuminate not only what I do, but they actually work as markers for me to just understand my own existence in the world and my own existence with other people in the world. And because I believe that art is not something that is for an elite market, that it is, again, a gift from God, I think we have a responsibility to make sure that when we say this is a gift and it's coming from something higher than us, that we practice the ways in which we get that message out to people. And I really use this space much more as a place for just communication. The art is what I think brings people in, but I definitely can say today, after 4 years, so many people have enriched my life in ways that money could not have even come in the picture, because they become priceless for me, because the bonds that have been created and the feeling sometimes when you meet someone that you feel like this person must somehow be related to me, but clearly it has to be on a spiritual level, because I know they're not a part of my immediate family, so it has to be something spiritual going on that's showing a recognition between us. And it is amazing, again, when you don't just, one of the things that I always think about is that I never feel like I have clients. I always feel like when someone comes in and they generally leave, I feel like I've met a friend that I didn't realize I actually knew.
Right. I know personally, because you and I are very, very good friends.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I know that to be so, because the bond that you and I have and the connection, that you and I have, I can always count on you to tell me the truth. It may not be the truth that I want to hear,
right,
but it's the truth nevertheless. And I love it when I tell you something and you say, that's the wrong answer. And I'm like, well, you know what? Sometimes just let me be wrong, okay? Just let me be wrong for right now. And you changing my way of thinking.
Oh, thank you.
You make me see things in a different light and see the other side. So you've helped me become a better person.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I know that you see the good in everybody. You see the bad too, because you're a realist.
Right.
But you see the good in everybody, and you try to enhance that and bring that out, and let folks see the good in themselves as well. Right.
Because I think that's I think it's very important to see people exactly as they are, which sometimes I question how strange that is, being an artist, because art is, a large chunk of it is about illusion. But I guess just having done it so long, I realized for me, the direction in which I take my art and then working with other artists is trying to get them to understand that illusion really is, in a sense, almost the reality of people. Sometimes it's the extreme of that reality, but being able to actually see, as you said, what someone might say, well, that's the bad in a person. But a lot of times the things that are our very weakness, at certain times we have to use them as our strength to get us through certain things. And definitely as African Americans, I think that's something we do very well. We take, the negative of feeling bad and use it to propel us into great heights and into great moments, and that again is something I think is so easy to overlook And it's so easy to just not want to understand, because I think that's the other thing too. The more you understand, sometimes you realize that within the scope of things, you can't use the same ruler to measure each person, that each person has to be measured individually to understand the degree at which the information that you know about that person is based.
Yeah, and that's what I love about you.
Thank you.
I truly do. What I want to do now, if we can, I would love to show our viewers the gallery.
Oh, wonderful.
And I would love for you to explain some things and explain the works to us.
Wonderful.
So if we
I'd love to.
Okay, that would be a good thing, I think. I love that.
Now that's a wonderful piece. That's an artist from Thailand. His name is Jakob Mo Rafi. It's called The Slumbering Cowboy. And he is a traditional master painter, and he just brings that lush, romantic feeling to his subjects. And I mean, you really, when you look at that picture, the details, the smokiness of the moment, but the boots, and just the relaxed atmosphere of the body, even though he's holding this gun in his hand, it really kind of evokes that wonderful feeling of what must have made the West so exciting.
Nicole Pritchard.
Yes, I mean, Nicole is, she's kind of a wunderkind. She works in many different mediums. This is actually her taking the wonderful traditional African lost wax technique, but just updating it with a new spin. Her work deals a lot with African American women, and yet you can't really place them in a context as far as the period. She does these. We actually have some really intricate pen and inks on the other side here that she does. This piece here, for instance, is actually by her. It's called The Tree People. And her work really has a wonderful, almost botanical sense in that you really see how people are very closely linked to nature.
How do you decide what goes where? I know that you painstakingly before a show, a week before the show, no one can see anything.
Well, it really, again, as an artist, for me, everything is about instinct, and everything, the gallery closes 1 week before the new show opens, and I really just lay all the pieces down, and as strange as it seems, you talk with the pieces, and the pieces actually will speak back, and they will actually tell you where I need to go in the scheme of things so that I still can hold my own, so that you realize, I think especially when you see a gallery where everything is hung the traditional salon style, is you realize it's not the category that you actually are buying. What you should be looking for is just great pieces that actually are speaking, that actually have something to say. And I think when you do that, what happens is people normally sometimes come and say, oh, I only like abstract, or I only like, and that's because most galleries only feature one particular genre or style of painting. And what we say is, as if it's art, it doesn't matter what the style or the genre is, because the power that this is a gift, this is a message being delivered, that has nothing to do with the labels that we might place on it.
I know that's a Shaniqua Gay.
Yes, Shaniqua Gay, again, another great American painter. She's actually here in Atlanta. Her work has just such a unique vision to it, and it's, I think you said it best, when you see it you immediately recognize it. And she really captures everything that is amazing, everything that is magical about the Southern experience. She was born here in Georgia, and the works really magnify contemporary Southern living.
My name is Shaniqua Gay, originally from Atlanta, Georgia, and I'm the creative specialist this evening at U-Space Gallery. This medium here is oil and acrylic. I work in oils, acrylics. I mostly paint on wood, very rarely paint on canvas. My inspiration is just the style. I love Southern women. I have a lot of strong Southern women in my family, and basically my paintings are about those women and their relationships, which includes me, and the things that inspire me, just homegrown Southern hospitality, tea parties, butterscotch, playing in red clay, just all that good stuff about being Southern and being from the South, especially being a Georgian. I actually discovered color. I'm originally a realist, so I mostly worked in pencil and charcoal, and so just haphazardly I just decided to paint. And once I discovered paint and the use of colors, it was just awesome for me. I didn't want to put it down. And so the vibrance of color is just a part of me now, and I love it. It makes me happy, it gives me joy, and I think it does the same for the buyers and the people who are interacting with the work. Oh my gosh, it just represents peace, you know? It just represented solitude to me, and I think we all look for a place of peace or a place of solitude. And initially, my peace is somewhere on the Ivory Coast, the Côte d'Ivoire, and that's just me over in the Ivory Coast, just chilling. That just represents peace to me. It represents solitude, and I love it. I just love it. I have a son, but my heart's joy is to have 2 girls. And so that's just basically a woman and 2 little girls, but that's where my heart's joy is. I love just the inspiration of women and women raising women. I feel like it's very key that we raise prominent women in America, which I feel like we do. We do, especially where African American women are concerned. I think we have a lot of strong black women here. That is classic Southern church, ladies with the red hat committee. Wherever your grandmother, your auntie, and your great-grandmothers go to church, that's probably where they are, right? It's just old Southern homegrown women. You can definitely reach me at U-Space Gallery, which is where we are, uspacegallery.com, and or you can email me, shaniquagayart@aol.com, and also my MySpace page, which is myspace.com/shaniquagayart.
This is what really caught my eye when I first walked in. So who's this artist and what is this about?
Well, the artist is Stephen A. Weber, and he really is a great American painter. He's originally from New York and he lives here now in Georgia, but the amazing thing about his work is he really captures the African American experience, and he captures not so much artificial moments, but the realities of scenes, especially like this piece here, which is actually his homage to the famous Lafayette Theater, and there's the famous stub there from the tree that the Apollo adopted later, but originally the Lafayette, which was one of the biggest African American theaters in its day. But what's neat with pieces like this, where the reality comes in, the woman here is really quite lovely, because instead of just making it a pretty picture, he really brings the excitement, the joy, the emotion, but then even like here, when you look, you see that part of her garter is showing, which is exactly what you would see. It's those little details that sometimes in our memory makes really, really vivid perceptions that just kind of ground us and just help us become who we are.
This painting is Block Party. And what this really represents, like these buildings in the background represent projects. I grew up in housing projects in New York City, and they were always this color, like this burnt sienna type color. And all these people here were just, people having a good time and partying, including the ice cream man. We used to have good humor. He used to come around ringing his bells and everything, and you hear kids calling for their mother. And then, unfortunately, his lady here, you look at her face, you can see a little, I guess you'd say, little despair. Here. It's like pretty much represents how it was. These 3 panels go together, and this just represents like what's going on, like on the block. Oh, that's the name of it, on the block. And you see my man sitting up there, like on the step. Now there are some other paintings that have more of a story to them now.
Okay, well take us. Let us follow you.
All right, let's go. Let's start over here. This painting here, this represents like where I grew up. Like I grew up actually in this building. It was in the Ravenswood housing project. what this represents is like different eras. Like most of these people in this painting, like either were or represent like people that I grew up with. Like for example, this is my older sister. During that time, during that era, it was the guy he's coming around like on our block with the guitar, and he used to play Beatles songs and things like that, you know. He was a little boy, like some hesitate to mention names, but you know, this little boy, like he was like real young. He used to fly through projects on his bike, you know, he was like kind of a daredevil in the project. We'd go to the public swimming pool, he'd jump off the 10-foot, you know, diving board, and that's what he was kind of known as.
Hey, this is Terence Jackson coming to you from U-Space Gallery, the premier gallery in Atlanta that always features amazing artwork which is accessible to the masses.
Wasn't Terence Jackson wonderful? And U-Space Gallery, beautiful. In the interviews with Shaniqua Gay, little bitty Shaniqua Gay, do you sometimes wonder how God could give so much to one little bitty girl and then make me big, black, and awkward? And then we have Saul, that's Stephen A. Weber. He is incredible, and he's so humble. And then our beautiful, our very own Omissions by Tracy Cruz. You got so much in just 30 minutes. You guys ought to be paying for this. But we appreciate that you take the time out your day to watch us. Thank you. Stay tuned for more Women on a Hustle.